On a night etched in chilling October lore, in the shadow-draped heart of the enigmatic town of Ravenwood, a brave group of paranormal investigators converged upon the malevolent doorstep of Ravenwood Estate. This decaying mansion, shrouded deep within the sinister embrace of the Ravenwood forest, bore the weight of an accursed legend, casting a foreboding pall over the town's whispered tales. The team was a motley assembly. Sarah, a dauntless leader seasoned by years of spectral skirmishes. Mark, a tech whiz wizard armed with a curious arsenal of ghost hunting gadgets. Emily, a sensitive medium whose gifts could bridge the chasm between the living and the departed. And Jake, the fearless but skeptical cameraman determined to immortalize the otherworldly on film. As they dared to cross the groaning threshold, an oppressive silence wrapped itself around them. Inside, the air was thick with dread, and the flickering candles cast grotesque, wraith-like shadows on the decaying wallpaper. Sarah's voice quivered, tinged with unease. Let the investigation begin. They ventured into dimly lit corridors, each step echoing ominously. Emily's senses flared, besieged by the restless spirit's presence. She whispered, almost breathless, "They are here, surrounding us." In the grand hall, an abrupt plummet in temperature caused their breaths to materialize in ghostly plumes. A bone-chilling fog enveloped them, veiling the room in a sinister shroud. The massive chandelier above swung wildly, rusty chains groaning in protest. Mark's ghost-hunting devices erupted into a cacophony of blinking lights and shrill alarms. A mournful, spectral voice echoed, uttering a haunting refrain. The group quivered in terror. Emily, her voice a mere quiver, said, "They seek to communicate." The grand piano in the corner awakened, its keys moving with eerie precision, producing a discordant dirge. Sarah, recognizing the melody, revealed that the estate had been the stage for a torrid affair that culminated in the grisly murder of a woman named Eliza. As their investigation delved deeper, the malevolence within the estate intensified. Doors slammed shut with bone-jarring force, and ghostly whispers swirled like a sinister tempest, invoking primal fear. In the dimly lit basement, they stumbled upon an ancient journal, its pages filled with a ritual gone terribly awry, a dark covenant binding malevolent entities to the house. Their presence had tormented the trapped souls within, perpetuating an unending cycle of anguish and death, becoming the blood-chilling legend of Ravenwood Estate. With this revelation, they knew that to break the curse and liberate the tormented spirits, they must undertake an unimaginable risk. Emily, her voice trembling with dread, initiated a seance, summoning the spirits of the Forsaken. The room grew heavy and oppressive as an otherworldly wind clawed at their very souls. A spectral figure emerged, the tortured spirit of Eliza herself. Through Emily's communion, they learned of the ritual required to shatter the curse. Risking everything, they followed the instructions, and the malevolent force erupted in a cataclysm of fury. The estate itself convulsed, its walls oozing with spectral energy, and grotesque apparitions whirled in a dizzying dance of malice. But the grateful spirits of Ravenwood intervened, wielding their ethereal power to quell the malevolence once and for all. The estate itself seemed to scream as the curse shattered, its malevolent presence dissipating into the abyss. In the heart of a mist-shrouded forest, cloaked in perpetual twilight, stood the ominous Blackthorn Manor. Its towering, gnarled facade resembled a nightmarish sentinel, a relic of forgotten horror stories whispered through generations in the town of Moonvale. In Moonvale, tales of chilling hauntings and inexplicable horrors had woven themselves into the very fabric of everyday life, and Blackthorn Manor was the epicenter of these eerie narratives. On a fateful October night, 4 daring souls gathered before the mansion. Sarah, the indomitable leader, brought with her years of paranormal expertise. Mark, a tech virtuoso, wielded an array of ghost-hunting gadgets. Emily, a sensitive medium, bridged the gap between the living and the spectral. And Jake, the fearless cameraman, was determined to capture the unexplainable on film. As they crossed the threshold, an eerie silence enveloped them, broken only by the foreboding creaking of ancient floorboards. The air within the mansion was frigid, and the flickering candlelight cast long, writhing shadows upon the decaying wallpaper. Sarah's voice trembled with anticipation. The investigation begins. They ventured into the labyrinthine corridors, their footsteps echoing through the oppressive stillness. Emily's senses quivered with the presence of unseen entities. She whispered, her voice but a hush. "They're here, all around us." In the grand chamber, the temperature plummeted to glacial depths, and an unsettling mist began to snake its way through the room, obscuring their vision. The grand chandelier swayed ominously, its chains rattling in protest. Mark's ghost-hunting devices burst into a chaotic symphony of flashing lights and shrill alarms. A ghostly murmur slithered through the air, forming a dissonant chorus. The team shivered in dread. Emily, her voice barely above a whisper, said, "They wish to speak." In a darkened corner, a piano began to play of its own accord, its keys moving with an eerie grace, conjuring a melody both haunting and melancholic. Sarah recognized it, an elegy of lost love, a tale of betrayal that echoed through the ages. As their investigation deepened, the malevolence within Blackthorn Manor intensified. Doors slammed shut with a malevolent force, and spectral whispers swirled like a maddening storm, a cacophony of dread that clawed at their sanity. In the mansion's forsaken basement, they discovered an ancient tome, its pages filled with a sinister ritual, a pact binding malevolent forces to the house. This unholy covenant had tormented the trapped souls, imprisoning them in an endless cycle of anguish and despair. With this revelation, they knew that breaking the curse meant risking their very souls. Emily, her voice laden with trepidation, initiated a seance, conjuring the spirits of the damned. The air grew heavy, suffocating, as an otherworldly tempest raged around them. A spectral figure emerged, the vengeful spirit of a woman named Sarah, whose own journey of paranormal investigation had met a tragic end within these very walls. Through Emily's communion, they uncovered the ritual needed to shatter the curse. Risking everything, they followed the instructions, unleashing a tempest of supernatural fury. Blackthorn Manor convulsed, its walls pulsating with malevolent energy as grotesque apparitions swirled in a nightmarish maelstrom. But the spirits, grateful for their deliverance, intervened. With spectral power, they contained the malevolence once and for all. The mansion itself seemed to howl as the curse shattered, its malevolent presence vanishing into the inky abyss. With the first light of dawn, the mansion stood in eerie stillness, its malevolence exorcised. The curse was finally broken, and the tormented souls found solace. The team left Blackthorn Manor, forever haunted by the terrors they had faced, knowing that some enigmas should remain unsolved, and that the legend of Blackthorn Manor would live on as a chilling testament to the indomitable forces lurking in the shadows, and as a haunting reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of the paranormal. In the desolate town of Hollowbrook, shrouded within an eerie forest cloaked in perpetual mist, a menacing structure stood as a testament to the town's darkest fears, the Hollowbrook Asylum. Deserted for decades, the asylum had transformed into a whispered nightmare, its unsettling mysteries haunting the town's collective consciousness. On an ominous October night, I, driven by an unquenchable curiosity, found myself standing before the asylum's foreboding entrance. Armed with a wealth of paranormal knowledge and a burning desire for answers, I embarked on a harrowing solo expedition into the unknown. As I crossed the threshold, an oppressive silence closed in around me, broken only by the ominous groans of decaying floorboards. The air inside was dense and stifling, and the flickering candlelight cast eerie, shifting shadows upon the peeling sanatorium green wallpaper. My own voice quivered with a mix of anticipation and fear. The investigation begins. Navigating the labyrinthine corridors, I could sense the presence of ethereal entities, their unseen eyes upon me. My whispered words seemed to reverberate in the oppressive stillness. They're here, all around us. In a forgotten chamber, the temperature plummeted, and an ethereal mist began to snake across the floor, obscuring my vision. The grand chandeliers above swayed ominously, casting haunting shadows upon the asylum's crumbling walls. My ghost-hunting devices came alive with a frenzy of blinking lights and urgent alarms. A mournful, spectral murmur filled the air, forming an eerie, otherworldly chorus. I was gripped by a profound sense of dread. I knew then that they wished to communicate. In a dimly lit corner, a long-neglected piano came to life, its keys playing a haunting melody, a lament that echoed through the asylum's sordid history. I recognized it, an elegy of shattered minds and lost souls. As I pressed on, the malevolence within the asylum surged. Doors slammed shut with unseen force, and ghostly whispers filled the air, creating a maddening symphony of the Forsaken. In the depths of the asylum's darkness, I discovered an ancient journal, its pages chronicling a forbidden ritual, a sinister pact that bound malevolent forces to the institution. This unholy covenant had ensnared tormented souls, perpetuating their suffering for eternity. With this chilling revelation, I understood that breaking the curse would require a perilous confrontation with the supernatural. Gathering my resolve, I conducted a séance, beckoning the spirits of the damned. The air grew heavy and oppressive as an otherworldly tempest raged around me. A spectral figure emerged, the tortured spirit of a former patient named Michael. Through my communion with Michael, I uncovered the ritual needed to shatter the curse. Risking everything, I followed the instructions, unleashing a tempest of supernatural fury. The asylum convulsed, its walls throbbing with malevolent energy as grotesque apparitions swirled in a frenzied, nightmarish dance. But the grateful spirits intervened, wielding their spectral power to contain the malevolence. The asylum itself seemed to sigh in relief as the curse shattered, its malevolent presence vanishing into the inky abyss. With the first light of dawn, the asylum stood eerily still, its malevolence exorcised. The curse was broken, and the tormented souls found respite. I departed Hollowbrook Asylum, forever marked by the terrors I had faced, knowing that some mysteries must remain unsolved, and that the legend of the asylum would persist as a chilling testament to the indomitable forces lurking in the shadows, a haunting reminder of my own journey into the heart of darkness.